It's been a while, and now we're back, fellas. Hello. Yeah, so many things have been happening in my personal life, but also, um, they're having things going on in the online world. Many recent events, such as a big shark VTuber graduating, and I have things to talk about that as well. So, without further ado, let's go and check it out. Well, here we have the Roche King himself, Asmon, and he has said things that I happen to agree with. And I think it has to do with the way like the companies work, like these VTuber corporations. So let's see.
I mean, she's like one of the main faces of this group,
Yeah,
and then her leaving
she is.
because of that—that's kind of a big fucking deal, man. That's a massive fucking deal, and so that's down 10%. Yeah, that's a huge, huge amount. And so anyway, they sold their shit. Yeah, I know they did, and basically, apparently, they went public or something like that. Like I don't know like all the details about
Yeah, I
this,
think the
but
audit should be
you
fine,
know,
right?
as a VTuber, and this is what I've noticed a lot from like contracts, and this is something that I even talked about like Tectone. The thing is here,
Okay.
if anyone's
Yeah,
shocked by
here it
Gura's
is.
decision to leave Hololive, and
Right here is what needs to be addressed within the VTuber world, which is the way these VTuber organizations and companies have been working.
her main decision to is due to the company's direction. Y'all need to understand how shit VTuber orgs are. Ownership of identity. That means that like Hololive owns Gawr Gura. Like she doesn't own it, they own it. So like if she wants to go off and do her own thing or have her own opinions or whatever. Also like I know there's been some people that are like negative and rude in this stream. Like real quick. So like this like just and you're just making this stream and do that thing. So just keep that in mind whenever you're trying to. I care about the people that act this way is because it's disrespectful and rude for no reason. And so when you're taking a person who's having a bad time, a person that like, for example, like somebody is like crying about like, getting sentenced to jail for like running somebody over, fine. But like when you just
These are emotional stuff. People who are rude, we just like you just have to ban them. It's just less toxicity in the long run.
have like this free floating, like just a hostile thing or something. That's all you do? Well, if it's all I not doing that and so respectful for no reason, yeah, yeah. So, but if you just don't like something and you're just constantly shit talking, like, why would I want to promote that the entire vibe of the community, like ISIS, right? Somebody doesn't like, or like you have to insult this person and like repeatedly berate them and degrade them. This is a point where you're a loser, man. You're like just an obnoxious, rude loser. And so, like, why would I want to provide a platform for obnoxious, weird, rude losers?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, no, I don't want to do that. Why the fuck would I want to do that? And so, anyway, let's dial that the fuck down. And also, like, the thing is that a lot of people can never see the forest through the trees, right? Here's the forest. Is the fact that these companies and these groups take advantage in a lot of cases of these content creators, and they create relationships with them that are completely one-sided,
Yeah.
that are, I think, exploitative and predatory. And I think that they exercise a degree of control and a degree of oversight that is not coherent for like a good experience for an audience. It's not healthy for a relationship for a person to have with a management company. Like if you worked at a job and your job treated you this way, you'd be losing your fucking mind.
Anyone would.
And so when I see this, I view this as, an abstraction of a bad work practice that is being applied in an industry that I'm related to, right? So whenever I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about it on that level. I'm not thinking about Gawr Gura. I'm not even thinking about Hololive. I'm thinking about the idea of this and what this idea means and what her leaving, how that affects this idea.
Yeah.
So like that's where I'm at. That's where I'm in. And so anyway, let's go back. I just wanted to make sure I address that because there's been a lot of weird people.
I mean, yeah, this is how VTubers have to deal with. Yeah, it's a really toxic place. It's a toxic relationship. This is what many organizations do. They take advantage of the fact that VTubing has become a popular thing, and apparently, well, not apparently, many companies like these many companies offer essentially they offer a contract to these VTubers, and um what they offer is a one-sided contract. Like they will essentially hire you to be a voice actor, but instead of you like say making a certain amount of lines, and then you can move on and do other voice actor roles. Now in here, you're essentially stuck to this role until you either leave, or they make you leave, or
トンズたちオズ
you're
ゲームズ
like
イズナウフォローイ
basically
ング
until you either leave, they make you leave, or um or they make you leave, or essentially the contract has just ended. You know, like the contract period has ended, and the reason this matters is because um, VTubing is essentially a new kind of like way of live streaming. It's a way to maintain your anonymity online, whilst at the same time being capable of enjoying that sort of like fame that um, others that like other normal live streamers like Asmon or Amaru or like Pokimane would be enjoying. But it's not just about the fame; it's also about the money. Like these streamers, they make a lot of money. Like a lot. They're like at a point where they're pretty much like either high middle class or just in the literal elite class. Like they gain probably like if you were to rank the richest people on the world or in society, you would have the number the 1%, then you would have um celebrities, then you would have business owners. No, you would have business owners, celebrities, and then streamers at the very bottom. It's a lot of money. And what's shocking is that essentially many of us people, like many of us young people, especially we're here in America, we've been told since early childhood to go to college. We've been told that college is the only way we can progress, we can make money. But given the whole society and all of these shenanigans that have been going on over the years, it has been proven that college is not that good and it's not that effective as your teachers claim it to be. It's a sad reality. Like for example, you would go to college. I mean, you would go to school. Your teachers and your parents tell you to go to college because if you don't, you're gonna end up stuck working a low income, a low income or no, what's it called? A minimum wage job like at McDonald's or retail, and you essentially get paid the minimum wage. And now, if we were back in the 70s, before the 70s, that minimum wage job would be something that would allow you to afford a house, maintain a family, and have a car of your own. But sadly, nowadays, that minimum wage job isn't even enough to allow you to afford an apartment as an individual. Cars, forget about cars. You can't even do that. It's super it's super bad. minimum wage, like the wages for minimum wage jobs, haven't risen in parallel to the prices of things. And as a result, we are essentially told this view and mentality that we have to go to college if we don't want to suffer. And at this point, it feels like everyone has just come up, most Americans and people in the world, I would assume, but especially Americans, have come up with the realization that buying a house is just going to be impossible. At this point, people have given up on buying a house. Because even if you manage to qualify, you're going to be stuck paying the mortgage for 30 years. 30 years. And there's a chance that by the time you finally pay it off, you probably already got tired and bored of that house. Or you probably died. And who's gonna be the one who keeps it? Well, the bank will. The bank will. And this is bad. And this is bad, obviously. So many people just basically have gotten used to the idea of living in apartments, and because of the low amount of apartments available, and the very high rising prices of apartments, it's very hard for people to even afford apartments. Nowadays, we are essentially in a point where, for example, here in California, you need roommates in order to afford an apartment. If you're working minimum wage, you need roommates. And then you're probably gonna have the bill of like the car payments, because you need a car. If you're in California, I don't know about the other states, but if you're in California, you need a car to get around, to go to your job and to go back, assuming that you're living a frugal lifestyle. And by frugal, I mean not going to the movie theater, not going to the mall, not going to concerts, not going to events and conventions, basically. Not going to the beach, just go home, just go to work and then go home, and maybe go to the grocery store, to the supermarket to buy your groceries. Um, Basically, that's how bad things are. And what else? Oh yeah, and because of this, here in America, many people have decided to go to college, and because we're living such a um, unfair society, and also not in such an unfair, but more we live in a greedy society. Um, Thanks to the 2008 recession, where colleges managed to get to basically take a hold of so many lands, so many houses. Well, college essentially dominates, and because college operates under this college and universities operate under the law and under the law of demand and supply, um, law of demand and supply, they will raise the price of tuition, if there are a lot of people wanting to go to college. And because minimum wage is literally a life in hell if you don't have anyone who's helping you. Like if you're by yourself alone in California, minimum wage is hell. If you have family members that are helping you out, like by basically not having you pay for the like, I don't know, the bills. Maybe they have you pay one bill at most, but it's better than paying a lot of bills. Or if you have roommates, in which you all split the bill, minimum wage jobs is going to be quite bad. It's going to be quite alright, but most people don't have that, and especially because something I've noticed is that we Americans are going into a society of where everything is online, and most of our friends are basically online, and the little friends that we have in real life are probably people we've met in like high school or college, or high school, college, or previous like middle school, elementary school, uh, but we've been keeping up, and but it just so happens that they don't need a roommate, or they just live really far away in a different area, like different state or city, like from Los Angeles to San Francisco, for example, and because of this, uh, what is the young person gonna think? Well, the young person's gonna observe that minimum wage is not convenient, so they will try to go to college, even if they are not, um, even if they are not low income, even if they're low income, they will try to go to college, and as a result, that gets really bad, and and because of the rising cost of tuition, rising cost of like housing and things in general here in California, many people see these streamers, most of them who probably don't, most of them who probably don't have um, a college degree, and they're gaining lots of money, like rich people, and so that here's when these organizations and companies come and take advantage of people who want to like be a VTuber. They come and take advantage of them by essentially telling them to, by essentially having an unfair, um, like payroll. Like for example, the company will keep probably more than 50% of all revenues that you generate, more than 50%, and that is not fair. It is toxic, and you would then think, okay, they're keeping most of my payroll, or most of my pay my most of my revenues. Okay, but are they gonna help me? What else are they helping me in? Well, they help you deal with the sort of like, I don't know. In the case of Hololive, they help you. They help you with the creating the avatar, creating the model. They help you in getting sponsorships, in getting deals. They help you in getting collaborations with other agencies, with other corporations of VTubers. Um, they help you maybe doing collaborations with big IRL events like that Hololive X Dodgers event that we had last year, I believe, and they also help you with dealing with like management. Like they're the ones who are managing um, like any sort of like PR disputes. Now, is that good or bad? Well, it depends. Like there have been uh, notable examples with VTuber companies that have essentially not fulfilled their end of the deal. You know, like they promise to be there for you and to help you succeed as a VTuber, yet in some instances, it has been proven through different instances where um, they don't do anything. They don't they don't handle the whole PR problems that are going on, especially when it comes to like harassments. They don't. They probably not. They don't probably. Oh, they also like part of like the management is like dealing with like fan like mail, fan fan mail or fan mail basically. And what do these organizations do? Well, there's been an example of a certain organization, VTuber organization, that kept the fan mail of the VTuber and never told the VTuber about it. And then the VTuber would be receiving from their fans messages about why about whether the VTuber got or didn't get, whether the VTuber received or didn't receive the fan mail. And that's basically how most of the time the VTuber finds out that the organization has been keeping fan mail from them. And I can assume that the reason they do that is because they're lazy. Like they're like your typical lazy person. They want to make as much profits as possible without without putting any effort. That's what they do. Like the most help these organizations do is literally just create the avatar, and it's just create this avatar. And the reason many VTubers or many people who want to become a VTuber rely on these companies is mainly because of the avatar. Like not everyone who wants to be a VTuber has the artistic talent to create the model for the avatar. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not that hard. You just need some time, and you don't even need the real talent. You just need to like save a day for yourself and go onto like websites like Vroid, if I remember correctly, and places like Vroid allow you to create your own models for free, literally free. Now, sure, some of these things are more like premium stuff where like you buy to get access to certain stuff, but you can still make a generic model on Vroid and stream with that. Like if I remember correctly, even Iron Mouse used a Vroid model, if I remember. Just let me check that up. Iron Mouse used a Vroid model. Well, yes, she has used Vroid models. Yeah, and I feel like that's how she started. Even well, not that I feel. I think that's what she said. I think was it this one or let's see. Oh well. Well, I don't know how to zoom in. Oh wait, control. Yeah. They call it Season 1, debut December 2019, the first Iron Mouse model. Season 1 3D, debuted June 2020. 2025 years, damn. But yeah, like this first model, I think that was made with Vroid. Now, she probably may have spent some money on it, but even with the free models, like for example, my model, let me show you guys. My model, the one I used, is like my model, the one I used, has unique designs. Like I just drew this. Like I didn't mind. I just did this. Like you can tell that these are just like colors that I had in mind. And even here, like you can see like you know the Triforce upside down, and like I'm just using it because I love like these are like I love Zelda, and I also love like these colors. I love these are also like kind of style, and all of these was made for free. I think the only exception would be the jacket and the other things, which, if I remember correctly, I downloaded it from the that website called Boot VOBOOTH, and they have some free stuff here over there. You just gotta read, and and you can just like use the textures and that's it. So yeah, and even though um it can be hard to like gain relevancy, because if there's one thing that the organizations do give you do help you in is they boost your exposure. They make all these like dancing or stories. They make like a very huge like debut. They hype the VTuber, and obviously that's gonna attract a lot of attention. But on my case, like as an indie VTuber, you don't get to have that much of an exposure. That's why it can take time to build up an audience, and not everyone has that patience has that patience to build their audience as indie people, because I don't know, like probably just like personal matters, and and that's what they rely on these companies, and they basically these companies just farm them. And you know what's the most sad thing is that as Tectone posted here, the companies basically own the IP. What's the IP? The VTuber avatar. And and you would say, okay, if they own it, why don't they hire someone else? Well, because they know that the fans will recognize that the voice is different. They will recognize that whoever voiced Gawr Gura is not going to be the same as the next person who will voice Gawr Gura. And because these IPs have been used for a long time, like I think Gawr Gura has been for like around 5 years, pretty much. At this point, everyone knows how she sounds like, and everyone knows what she sounds like. Everyone knows what her personality is, and Hololive, the company, they know that they cannot like replace Gawr Gura's the original Gawr Gura for someone else to use the avatar, because the personality will not be the same and the voice will not be the same, and because of those two factors, it would just not be the same. Um, that's kind of like the same reason why the voice actor for Mario, um, well,
Do you know if they finished the salsas?
um,
Only the green sauce.
what?
The green sauce?
No, I don't know where to put it. Maybe in the fridge. Voice actor for Mario. Charles Andre Martinet. He has been voicing Mario since when? 1982. 1982? No, probably somewhere around there. But essentially, like Charles Martinet is like he's the most known voice for Mario. No, yeah, he's been voicing Mario since like Mario 64, I believe. He's been voicing, and ever since then, he's been voicing Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, and the vivid equivalents of Mario and Luigi. But then he retired, and now he became an official ambassador for the Mario series, which and he's like, which is a nice thing. Now, um, now many people would probably think that um, that doing this approach would be probably bad. Now here's the difference. VTubers and IPs like Mario, like characters, um, because Mario is like he has his own like his Italian accent and voice. Like um, I feel like anyone who's a voice actor could replicate that. But when it comes to like Gawr Gura, her voice is unique, and I don't think there are like voice actors who can mimic Gawr Gura's voice for long periods of times. For long periods of times, and obviously that's why they keep companies like Hololive or even Ninja Sanji. Once the VTuber retires, graduates, they just never bring them back. They never bring them back. They're gone forever, and they even lock the videos so that no one can even see them for some unknown reason. I don't know why, but perhaps it's because it's part of the contract where, okay, if the VTuber is no longer gonna be able to use the avatar, then in order to make it fair, the company will no longer have those videos available, because if they're still available, the money generated through ad revenue and even donations will still be going to the company, but it will no longer be given to the VTuber, and that's why they don't want to. That's why they just like lock everything out, and I personally think that's quite bad, because they're having very wholesome moments with under like these videos, and yes, there are clip channels that pay tribute to the VTubers by highlighting certain events from like the videos that are no longer up there. But let's be real. Clip channels can only do so much, because they will not be able to just like re-upload the whole thing, and there probably have been moments that will be lost forever. And and I'm just gonna be and I'm also gonna be reasonable. Let's be pragmatic. The only other reason many VTubers or people rely on VTuber organizations in order to become a VTuber is because there isn't the knowledge about being able to do your own VTuber model for yourself for free, literally for free, or with cheap or with cheap prices. Isn't that public? Isn't that public? And also because there aren't that many indie VTubers who have no ties to like big organizations, big VTuber organizations, because there are so few of them. Many people think that if they want to stand out, they have to rely on these VTuber organizations, and that's where they get them. It's completely unfair. And yeah, like the predatory cuts of revenue, that's true. They take more than 50% of your revenue. And let's be real, VTubers like Gawr Gura are the reason Hololive is even relevant at all. Without Gawr Gura and all the other first generation VTubers of Hololive, Hololive would be no one in the inside. And heck, VTubing as a whole would be irrelevant and would only be a niche little community, a niche little aspect or thing in the inside of things. Because if it wasn't for Hololive, we wouldn't have Neji Sanji, and we wouldn't have Vishoujo. If I remember correctly, when was Vishoujo founded? November 24, 2020. Yeah, November 24, 2020. And when was Hololive EN founded? Hololive EN started in June 2018. In June 2018, that's when they started creating the whole first generation. And if it wasn't for the EN branch of Hololive, Bishoujo wouldn't exist, and Niji Sanji EN wouldn't exist as well, right? If I'm correct. February, May to June. It's around there, but let's be real. Gawr Gura is the one who made VTuber popular in the EN side. I don't think it was anyone from the Niji Sanji side. Now, that doesn't mean that the VTubers of the Niji Sanji side also didn't end up contributed. Everyone also plays a role, but you have to be pragmatic. Gawr Gura is the one whose personality was so entertaining for many people in the EN side, with her singing streams and also her most iconic meme, which is the basically. And yeah. So what else? It's insane how VTubers want to lock into VTuber organizations to begin with. Yeah. Like, once you're there, you are stuck. Like, you are stuck in there, basically. And, like, you're stuck in there. And, or, well, you're not really stuck, but it's essentially hard. And, I think another thing, with the VTuber organizations is that they basically have you work, like, unlike streamers who are independent. Like, streamers who are independent, they can just stream at any time they want. They can turn on the camera on a random Friday or in the middle of the week and just do a live stream for like 2 or 3 hours, and that's it. And then they probably can just like rest for the rest of the week until they decide to stream again in any random day of the next week. Meanwhile, here VTuber organizations require the VTuber to stream an X amount of days per week for X amount of hours. And that is something that can be stressful. Not everyone has the ability to withstand such a mental task. And that is quite sad. But yeah, and like it's essentially like you thought, like you loved VTubing and you wanted the benefit of anonymity, and you also wanted the benefit of having that lucrative money, and also it's one of those things, we live in the age of technology, and thanks to streamers and YouTubers, we're essentially we've essentially been given the ability to what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like we essentially live in the era of technology, and like basically, like people who grew up in the 90s and even people who grew up in the early 2000s, like me, we've been told that you can't be playing video games all day and expect to earn money from it. But YouTubers and streamers have proven them wrong. You can make a living by just playing video games, or by reacting to random content online, or by doing weird gimmicks here and there online. So essentially, and this is basically like the most comfortable lifestyle and work style that you can and jobs that you can have. That's why we have so many streamers, so many VTubers, and something that has also been proven a fact is that because the world is so big and the world operates under different time zones, um, you can be live and there will be other people who will join your live and watch your thing because the likelihoods of like 10 big streamers going live at the same time is very low, especially if they're from like different regions like Asia, Europe, Latin America, North America, Australia, like all going live at the same time, very low. So that's why, in a sense, um, streaming and YouTubing has given the ability for the average person to make a living without without the fear of not the fear, but without the that challenge and hardship of challenge or hardship of essentially having to compete in here in the online world in the when you and YouTube and Twitch and like and basically live streaming for both IRL streamers, uh, non webcam streamers, and VTubers, they all can basically enjoy each other's content and make content for everyone. Anyone can see. Like there's a quite chance that someone who's very famous, like I don't know, maybe Taylor Swift, is watching your content. Like that is how interconnected everything is here in the online world. That's why it's so lucrative. It's a job where basically there will never be like you know like oh the site is out of jobs. You can no longer be a live streamer. You can no longer be a Twitch, no, a live streamer or a YouTuber. You know, that's not how things work. So and the good things, especially like when it comes to like YouTube, you can like record your videos or record your live streams and put them in YouTube. And as long as you're not breaking the TOS, and as long as you don't have like 3 copyright strikes or not copyright or just 3 strikes in general, your videos are gonna be there, and you're gonna be making money. Like if you apply to the like the like those like partnership programs where you can monetize your videos. And something that's good about YouTube is that those videos will constantly make money for you, indefinitely, as long as you're, you know, following the TOS. And that's why, especially with the rise of VTubers, everyone wants to join. Everyone wants. And also thanks to people like Asmon that have basically mainstreamed and proving that you can react content and not feel bad about it, because you know Asmongold's reacting to the Gawr Gura graduation announcement, and I'm here reacting to Asmongold's video about his reaction to the Gawr Gura graduation announcement. So we are all feeding the algorithm. We're all feeding the the online world. We're all taking a role. We're all contributing to the online society, or the society of YouTube, or of Twitch, basically. So, because we can react, many indie VTubers have found it easier to also like make content. Like it's very, and especially because most indie VTubers probably are not going to be able to have the money to buy like very amazing games. Like for example, I don't know, GTA 6 is going to be like $100. Not everyone has that amount of money. There's also the like for example, let me show you guys my Steam playlist. My Steam wish list. Um, where is it? Well, these are all free games that I could download, which is another thing. You know, if you're an indie VTuber, like after you find out how to make your avatar for free, you can have Steam, which has a lot of free games that you can make content of. You can make a lot of content of, and so everything is like everything is alright. Everything here is like nothing like you have lots of content that you can do, and also the wish list. And yeah, like there's a bunch of things. Like for example, well, things like Imaginator are cheap, but I personally am broke. I don't have money, and heck, even games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, has the first Berserker Kazan, Black Myth Wukong. They're like $60 games, which is pretty much like pretty cheap for today's gaming gaming industry, gaming world. But for today's gaming world and gaming industry, mainly gaming score. Oh my god, what am I talking about? Which are pretty cheap, but most indie VTubers are not gonna have the money for that. At most, they'll have the money for MeCD or Manhunt, basically, and and yeah, that's basically like about it, and because of it, um, oh, like because of it, many games don't have. That's why many indie VTubers like are like locked out from like I don't know partaking in the hype of like like for example GTA 6 comes out, everyone's making content out of it, because there will be people who want to know what is in GTA 6. But indie VTubers will not have the money to buy the game and make content out of it. Not every indie VTuber. And yeah. But thankfully, thanks to like hold on, Yakuza. Like these are like great games, my opinion. Like, and I'm glad like we have. Like, if there's one thing, even though there may be like a bunch of like slop content in gaming nowadays, we have a huge library of games, like a huge library, like we have like we have huge games. We have like huge games. Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, Kiwami 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah, like we have so many things here at our disposal. Like the Yakuza series is expensive. The Yakuza series isn't expensive. Like yeah, you can buy this bundle for $111, but if you're gonna stream these games, you can start with the cheap ones, and then slowly build your way up if you end up recovering the money through the streams and everything. And yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds. Like we have so many things. World. We have Rise. Like we have so many games, and some of these are quite cheap. $40. Yeah, they're cheap. And yeah, and basically, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and because we have so many games that are quite expensive, And people like me, for example, I bet there are many VTubers out there, or many people who aspire to be a VTuber, or many people who aspire to be a streamer, or a YouTuber, who are broke AF. Like, we don't have the money to buy it. Like, for example, like, as you guys saw with the Yakuza, in which I had to put my birth date, October 23, 2006, I'm 18 years old. I have nothing. And that's without counting the fact that I'm an immigrant from the third world. I'm a naturalized U.S. citizen. And even then, I'm from a low-income family. And I still live I live in a small apartment with my family, And in this apartment, there are only two rooms. One is where my mom and my stepfather lives, or sleeps, and the other room is for my step siblings, my stepbrother and my stepsister. That's where they reside in. And where am I? In the living room. Yeah, I have no room of my own. That's why I find it hard to stream. But as Asmon once put it, it's just an excuse. Like, even if there's background noise, if I really want to stream, I should just go ahead and stream it. I should just go ahead and stream it. I should just go ahead and like just talk to the camera, talk in the stream, even if the people that are in the living room may probably look at me and think I'm crazy. Well, that's just one of the things that you have to like tolerate. That's just one of the things that you have to tolerate, and also the fact that they think that like this whole streaming thing is as not going to, like, it's just like 1 in a million, and that's why I'm also planning to go to college so that I can at least guarantee myself a way that if this doesn't work, at least I have something I can rely on. That's why for the college degree that I'm going for, which is like business administration, the one good thing about it is that I can apply that to this like VTubing career. I can apply the knowledge, like how to handle with the whole business administration, basically, like creating my own brand and everything. And anyways, there's also the fact that that because of this reality that we are broke. That's why we are broke. That's why we rely on these big corporations and organizations of VTubing, and because we're broke and we're in a vulnerable position, these companies essentially can just farm us. They can farm us, and we essentially can fall to the victims, where we have like our IPs or avatar gone, and what that means is that you can no longer use this model, and this model is basically part of your online identity. This is how people can recognize you, and this is and that's why it's another reason why these greedy companies like Hololive, they don't want you to keep the model, because they know that if you leave them, even if they're no longer doing the managing work for you, and you're doing that all for yourself, the fact that you got popular, that the model is widely known, that your fans are gonna be sending you super massive donations, and you're gonna get a lot of views and you're gonna generate a lot of ad revenue, and that's when these greedy companies like Hololive, they will see that, and they're thinking to themselves, we are losing a lot of profits by letting these VTuber keep their model, keep the avatar model that we helped them create. And yeah, it's an unfair thing. But that's why we have companies like VShojo who do let you keep the uh, model. Like I think a prime example is Neanners. Like Neanners here. She used to be part of VShojo. And she has also done like face reveal. Mm. But yeah, like she debuted in 2020, and she used to be part of Bishojo, and now she's free and still getting money.
And again, there's just no reason for me to provide any platform for this. That's it. And so anyway, now dude, nobody wants to listen to this crap. Think about your stream. The thing is, like, people say nobody wants to listen to it, but again, right now, I mean, I've been live for less than a half hour. I've got 30,000 viewers. A lot of people want to listen to it. So if you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. Then just go listen to something else. It's okay. Like, it's not a big deal to me. And so, yeah, I do. A lot of people do. And also, the thing is, too, is like I don't even know why you would say that. Yeah, you're not even here. You don't even contribute in the community. The only thing you contribute is just being rude. And so, first and last message, bro. Like, why would I want to deal with that at all? And so anyway, yeah, it's just a very, very weird dynamic. And so anyway, that's the way I see it. Why am I crashing out? I am because there's just a lot of people that are hostile and rude for no reason. Ooh. And so like because like this is a problem that I have with like my community, and it happens kind of regularly, is that I'm hostile a lot with people. And so like they think that like that free floating hostility, they can just apply it to anybody they want. But like nobody cares. Well, why would you even say that? Like, why would you even why even do this? And so no, I just literally just don't be a dickhead, don't be rude, right, for no reason, and that's it. And so anyway, the streaming is crashing out. Well, it's not even. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what to say, but anyway, yeah, I just literally, like, I want to let people know, like, any type of hostility, disrespect, or rudeness that I experience, I have a one-size-fits-all policy, and that's a permanent ban. So if somebody types the same message 2 times, 3 times, if somebody says something I think is annoying, if somebody keeps bringing up the same topic, if somebody doesn't want me to talk about topic, anything that happens, I will immediately come and go for it. So,
I think I should also use that. I really think that. I think that's a good idea. Anyways, I gotta go to the bathroom. We are back. Alright. Sorry for the background noise. You already know why.
And I usually don't ever read my ban appeals or anything, like, so it's like if you get banned, that's it. And so that's really all there is to it. But I just want to make sure people understand that that's really how it goes on. And there's not really any degree of that I tolerate at all. And I only do whenever I think it's funny. But other than that, that's it. So yeah, anyway, I feel like we talked about this for a while, and it's just weird at this point. So anyway, yeah, mods, just for right now, just go and anybody who's being weird or rude, and have to anybody who's get them out. That's why they're here. And so anyway, so that's what we you should. Politics freaks want you only react to politics stuff. No, it's not that at all. But anyway, yeah. So that's really what's going to happen. And we're gonna remember this damn ban appeal stream, maybe. But let me go back. I've been distracted like by a lot by this, and it's like, what am I doing getting distracted by this? Like, most people don't give a fuck about this. Let's move on. And so anyway, yeah, if somebody's rude, just permaban. Anyway, so this is what happens with a lot of these content creators, is that they have a relationship with a company that is like predatory and exploitative. And I think that like some companies, like for example, I know like VShojo, for example, I believe allows you to retain the rights of your IP after you leave the org. So like for example, I think Silverveil is a good example of this. Silverveil was in VShojo, and then she left it. Same with Vebe, who's now Vey, left VShojo, and they retained their entity, right? Their personality. And so that's a huge W for VShojo, right? It's a good thing that they did. And I think that all of these companies should look at that and Like really, VTubers are people. They're not cartoons. They might play a cartoon, but they're not, and they should be treated like people and not cartoons and not comics or drawings. And I think that a lot of these systems are really holdovers from, like Japanese idol culture maybe, or some other form of exploitative practice. And so, like I said this myself, compared to traditional orgs and streaming agencies, VTuber-centric orgs are often exploitative to say the least. This seems to be a vestigial function of the idol management groups, primarily in Japan. So I hope it keeps dying as YouTubers realize they have other options now. The fact is that VTubers make the org doesn't make the VTuber, and I think.
Yeah, that's true. VTubers make VTubers are the reason Hololive exists. If it weren't for Hololive, if it weren't for like Gawr Gura, if it weren't for Mori Calliope, if it weren't for Crony, if it weren't for Fuwamoko, if it weren't for Narissa, if it weren't for Amelia Watson, if it weren't for Fauna, wait, was Fauna part of it? Yeah, if it weren't for Fauna, like Hololive would be nothing. Hololive would be nothing, straight up. Like it's the harsh reality, and that's how it is. The VTuber makes the organization. It's not the other way around. Because it's not the other way around. Because if the organization made the VTuber, well, what makes the VTuber? The personality. If the personality doesn't match up, the character, the VTuber avatar, then the company is gonna lose a lot of money. That's why they never That's why they never bring back these VTubers. They never bring them back. Like they treat VTubers like voice actors, but they don't treat the VTuber avatar as a character. And I'm gonna challenge Hololive, Nijisanji, to bring back old VTuber models and hire someone to take upon the mantle of these VTuber. See if that works. Because if that works and you end up succeeding, then basically you can justify the reason as to why you keep your IP. But until you do that, companies like VShojo will always remain on top because they allow the VTuber to keep the IP. It's the personality. So yeah. And it is true. It's part of like Japanese culture with the idol. Like if I remember correctly, an anime explains that best. It's called Oshinoko. Yeah, Oshinoko. This anime manga series does, despite the fictional content, like the time traveling and isekai stuff, like reincarnation, despite all of that, you can learn just how toxic idol culture is, and just how toxic and bad idol culture is, and I believe that idol culture in Japan, I don't know if it happens in Korea, but I assume it does. You need reforms. It's the same thing with religion. Religion is toxic, you gotta reform it. Same thing with systems in a country. If it is toxic, reform it. Because if you don't reform it, things will be bad, it will be a net negative, and only the few on top will be the ones benefiting. Meanwhile, everyone else is suffering. So yeah, I feel like these companies need to reform. Or not companies. The companies have to reform, and the industry has to reform as well. Like Hololive, if you don't know, they do this one thing that makes them stand out, which is to have concerts. They have concerts. They have concerts like this one, like where everyone else will just go and watch and reunite and be watching this, and because these essentially is idols. They're singing, they're dancing. They're not just streaming. That's what basically makes Hololive to stand out. And I think Nick Sanji also does the same. And but these two, like Nick Sanji also does the same. Also does the same. And I'm gonna be real. If there's something that I know is that I think even VShojo does that as well. VShojo concert. Oh my god. What? Well, I'm still streaming, right? Oh, damn. Chivas queda con los mismos puntos, la misma diferencia de goles, pero menos goles a favor que Pumas. Por eso Pumas van como décimo, Chivas, Atlas, Querétaro, Mazatlán, Tijuana, Santos eliminados. Chivas forma parte de ese grupo. Oh, damn, Jesus. Yep. Wi-Fi doesn't work. Wi-Fi's out.